I've been getting a great response to my watercolor videos and thought it would be fun to share a few more ideas. In this video, I'm going to share 10 simple and playful watercolor process ideas that could be used for Valentine's or any kind of greeting card. If you find these ideas helpful, it would be great if you gave it a thumbs up. That would really help my channel grow. We're going to start with some watercolor paper, a scissors, scrap paper, maybe some bubble wrap, and some watercolors. Let's get started. To warm up, I'm going to start with a basic heart shape. I like to tap on extra water and pigment because when it dries, the pools of color will be so lovely. This little piece of scrap paper, I cut out a heart shape. I'm going to set that aside for later, but I'll use this as a stencil. Try not to have my brush too wet, pulling in the color from the outside. When I lift the stencil, I have a lovely heart shape. We'll set that aside to dry and move on to the next one. Because these are Valentine's, I thought it would be fun to leave all sorts of sentiments on these cards. You could make it your own with any sort of greeting you like. I'm going to make the letters very, very wet so that, again, the pigment will pool when it dries. Now some of this crimson red. It's a little dark for my taste, so I'm going to use some of this fluorescent pink on the other side and let the colors blend in the middle. There's really no right or wrong way to do this. Here we have some bubble wrap, and I'm just going to brush some of the watercolor on top of it. Rub it with my hand, and that'll lift the color off of the bubble wrap and give me that nice texture. I'm doing the same with this fluorescent pink. I'm going to use that little stencil again, pulling in the color from the outside of the stencil. I like that the hearts are slightly imperfect. At this point, I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do, but I know that this sort of hand-drawn look of a circular shape will serve as a lovely background. I'm creating a field of color, blending the colors together. I didn't realize when I was doing this that some of the paint got underneath the stencil, but I knew I could figure it out later. I dried the stencil and I used it again. And there's another mess. No worries, I'll just make a bigger heart. I'm going to fill that heart in and get it really, really wet so that the colors can blend. This is one of the cards from earlier which I had pressed onto the bubble wrap. Cutting out a heart. And I'll use that as an overlay on one of the other cards. Ooh, this little purple heart would be so cute if I just drew around it a few times. I really want these to look handmade. Some rays of pink coming out of that heart. Lovely. I need to fix that little spot where the paint had bled. Using that little brown paper heart that I had cut out earlier. And I'm using some letter stamps to leave a sweet message. This one I'm going to sew the heart on top of. It gives a nice three-dimensional effect, and I really like the texture that the threads add to the piece as well. I'll cut a heart out of this one. I'll place that right on top of this pink bubble wrap printed card. Punched out some heart shapes, which I'm gluing onto this. I really like the look of this one. I'll use my pen to add a scallop edge around this heart. Each of these cards has at least two elements going on in it, whether it's watercolor and sewing, or watercolor and pen, or two different watercolors. This one I'm going back in with some more watercolor, a really wet brush, and I'm going to let the paint sort of swim around inside of that heart shape. At the bottom, I'll leave a little song lyric and a little detail around the heart. Just to make it stand out. This one I'm going to sew that stencil right on top of this card. Tear off the edge, and you can kind of see that something's going on underneath, and the element of opening up that card is a lot of fun for the recipient. I'm just going to glue down the back edge. And there you have it. I went back in with my pen and added a little scallop around the heart on that one. And this one I felt that crimson is just a little too drab and it didn't give me the contrast I was looking for. Since it was dry, I was able to add a little bit of this fluorescent pink on top, but still retain the bubble wrap printing. For this one, I creased one of those little punched out hearts. So I just put glue on the edge of the crease, pressed it down inside the heart, and wrote a little message along the side. And here are the finished pieces. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up. You might even consider subscribing if you'd be interested in finding out every time I post a new video. Thanks for watching.